November 24, 1971, began like any ordinary day. Little did the passengers of Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 know it would become one of the most infamous moments in aviation history. A quiet, calm man with the alias Dan Cooper boarded the plane in Portland, Oregon, and what followed was a series of events that would bewilder investigators for decades. By the end of the flight, this man would pull off a heist so audacious, so mysterious, that his identity and fate remain a riddle to this day. Flight 305 was a routine flight. The Boeing 727, piloted by Captain William Scott, was scheduled to fly from Portland to Seattle, a mere 40-minute journey. On board were 36 passengers, including a man who would soon make history. Dan Cooper, a name later corrupted to D.B. Cooper in the media, boarded the flight in Portland, wearing a dark suit and a white shirt, blending in with the other travelers. At first glance, Cooper didn't seem to stand out. He was described by flight attendants as polite, well-dressed, and unassuming. But there was one key detail. He had a plan. A plan that would take shape in the most shocking way. Mid-flight, with the plane cruising at about 10,000 feet, Cooper did something that no one could have predicted. He handed a flight attendant a note. At first, she didn't take it seriously, assuming it was another passenger's attempt at flirting. But as she read the note, her face went pale. Cooper told her, "I have a bomb." He opened a briefcase, revealing a device, an assortment of wires, red cylinders, and a small clock. It wasn't a mere threat. It was a demonstration of power. Cooper demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready to refuel the plane in Seattle. He wasn't asking for a getaway car. He wanted the world to know that he was in control. The crew, realizing the severity of the situation, immediately followed his instructions. They told the FBI, and the authorities began preparing the ransom. But Cooper didn't panic. He remained calm, as though this was all part of the plan. When the plane touched down in Seattle, Cooper's plan entered its next phase. The passengers were allowed to leave the plane, but Cooper kept the crew behind, ensuring they would not try anything. As the authorities surrounded the plane, Cooper's demands were met. $200,000 was delivered in cash. The 4 parachutes, 2 main, 2 reserve, were provided. Cooper told the crew to refuel the plane and head for Mexico City. It was clear he was prepared to escape into the night, and no one knew how he planned to disappear. But before the plane took off again, something strange happened. The authorities had hoped to catch Cooper in the act, but the man who had masterminded this escape didn't flinch. He ordered the crew to fly the plane in a very specific manner, low, slow, and under the radar. Once the plane was airborne again, Cooper gave his final instructions. He had asked for the rear stairway to be unlatched, and as the plane flew at 10,000 feet over dense, dark forests, the unthinkable happened. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Cooper opened the rear stairway and parachuted into the stormy night. The jump was daring. The weather was treacherous. Freezing temperatures, winds howling through the trees. And yet, Cooper knew exactly what he was doing. He had no intention of being caught, and no intention of leaving anything behind. What happened next is anyone's guess. The next morning, the FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in history. They searched the dense forests of Washington and Oregon, where Cooper was believed to have landed. But no trace of him was ever found. No parachute, no money, not a single clue. For years, the search continued, but it seemed as if Cooper had vanished into thin air. The only trace left behind was the ransom money, a small, rotting bundle, discovered by a boy on the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched, but how did the money get there? And where was Cooper? Many theories have emerged over the years. Some claim that Cooper was an experienced paratrooper, able to survive the jump and disappear into the wilderness. Others suggest that he didn't make it. His body was lost in the vast expanse of forests and rivers. Some believe Cooper may have changed his appearance after the hijacking, living out the rest of his life under an assumed identity. Still, others suggest that he didn't survive the jump at all, that his parachute failed, or that the elements claimed him. Despite countless investigations, no concrete evidence has ever emerged. D.B. Cooper's legacy is one of mystery and fascination. The FBI closed its case in 2016, but the story never truly ends. It lives on in books, documentaries, and in the minds of the public, who can't help but wonder, who was D.B. Cooper? Where did he go? And did he get away with it? The story of D.B. Cooper has become a part of American folklore, a symbol of defiance, audacity, and the unknown. And perhaps that's exactly what he wanted all along, to remain a mystery, an enigma who never let the world know his true identity. D.B. Cooper's escape remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. The plane, the ransom, the jump, all of it now just a fading memory, but one that still grips the imagination. And while we may never know the truth, we'll always remember the man who made the skies his own, if only for one night.